Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to a brand new video here today for some more F1 2020 My Team Career Mode. Today we are here for round 4, the Chinese Grand Prix. The next race, of course, will be the Dutch Grand Prix and the start of the European season. But before we jump into it, of course, we've got this weekend to tackle. And this track, of course, notorious for tyre temperatures and tyre wear. So it's going to be a very, very difficult race. And we're going to have to compensate a little bit on setup. If you guys missed the last episode at Vietnam, guys, check it out. It will be linked in the top right-hand corner of your screen. There was safety cars. It was my first wet race of the season. I believe I'm the first person to have a wet race at Vietnam in career mode as well. The race was intermediates. Like, literally, the race had everything, even a massive shock at the end of the episode, guys. So many things happened. I do recommend you watch it because I think you're going to really, really enjoy it and appreciate it. But with that being said, guys, one last thing. As always, thank you for the support on my channel recently. It's been doing so well, and I can't thank all of you new guys who subscribed enough, and I greatly appreciate it. If you guys want to join for the ride, there's still a lot of you that don't watch my videos, and if you want to check them out and you want to subscribe for more content, then by all means click the red button, guys. It'd help me out massively. But today, let's get into China. Let's see how we get on, and hopefully we can try and have another good race. Here we are then on the laptop once again, and we are going to kick off the race weekend here at Shanghai, round 4, the Chinese Grand Prix. The weather forecast this weekend looks pretty good, no rain expected, which is great, and there shouldn't be any issues in that regard. And also in terms of R&D, we do actually, again, we have some improvements this race, and we're actually ahead of Alpha Tauri now, so we've overtaken them, and we're now 4th from bottom, and we also have a chassis upgrade on the way, so hopefully we can improve even more and try and close the gap to Alfa Romeo, who is the next team ahead of us. But we now move into practice, and to be fair, I was actually quite happy. We tried the default setup, went pretty well. I then made a setup of my own, a custom setup, and I was actually quite happy with it. I will be doing a setup soon, guys. I'm doing a hot lap series on my channel. If you haven't checked it out, I do recommend you do it because I've got Vietnam going out today as a hot lap, so stay tuned for that one. But practice went well, pretty solid to be fair. We brought in a massive haul of points, and generally speaking, I was quite confident because we got 450, Mick got 130, combined total 580, and that is going to help us out quite a lot. And also the team acclaim is almost level 5 now. You can see we are going up by 6% now because we've got the acclaim boost on, and Mick went up by 8%, so that's a combined 14%. We're really pushing up now, so once we get to level 5, that's the target. We can put on a new sponsor, so hopefully we can do that in today's episode. Fingers crossed if we score enough acclaim points after qualifying and the race, because if we can, of course, another sponsor means more weekly income, more money to spend, and we can improve even faster. But now moving into qualifying here, and this was my first run in Q1, a big lockup into turn 5, and that was a recurring theme in this one, I think, to be fair. My best run was actually my second lap, and we'll ride the ball for that in a second. You can see here, we're currently finishing our first time lap, and to be fair, it wasn't too bad, less than a half. A second, give or take, off our teammate. It wasn't too bad, but we can definitely get closer. We do eventually box, and you can see my engine wear in the bottom right for the first time. I haven't really shown you guys too much of that. But we now move into what was my best lap in qualifying. So guys, enjoy the lap, and I'll get back to you once it's over. Here we go, out of the final corner, DRS open, across the line, and we do just marginally improve, and it's a real shame because there was some real potential in the lap. We was up by a tenth and a half, we had some really good pace, and again, this one here, we was up by a tenth and a half, but I made a mistake. I lost the back end through the fast left, clipped the inside curb and spun the car, but the pace was so good. We just ultimately couldn't deliver. But guys, that was it for qualifying. We're now going to move into an interview.
Why do you think you weren't as quick as your teammate today?
I mean, I did make a big mistake, so that's the reason why, to be honest.
Your qualifying pace didn't put you at the front of the grid. Will this be a problem tomorrow?
Obviously, we're not going to qualify towards the front, but I definitely could have qualified higher. I think I could have easily beat my teammate had I put a lap together.
Appreciate your time.
But yeah, there we go. That was the interview done. And you can see on screen a bit more acclaim this time. And we're very close now to level 5. We should be able to hit that after the race. So speaking of which, let's jump into it and let's see if we can try and turn this around on Sunday for the Chinese Grand Prix.
It's time to find out which driver is up to the task of claiming the Chinese Grand Prix. We're here in Shanghai. We start a lap here at Shanghai with the long, difficult right-handers of turns 1 and 2, the first of 16 corners that make up this 3.3-mile circuit. The incredibly long back straight provides the best passing opportunity of the lap, with speeds in excess of 200 miles per hour before the braking zone of turn 14. Alongside me to discuss all the action today is Anthony Davidson. And thanks for joining us, Ant. And tell me, you were down in the pit lane earlier. How do you think the track conditions are today?
Well, the surface looks clean enough, but I'm a little bit worried about the track temperature. It's pretty cool out there, which could give some teams difficulties when it comes to keeping their tyres in the right operating window. The cars out there that work their tyres hard and really put a lot of energy through them, they'll be the ones that are better off.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Vettel, Verstappen, Alexander Albon, and Ricciardo, Sainz, Ocon, Perez, and Lewis Hamilton. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Stroll, Kvyat, Pierre Gasly, and Magnussen, Giovinazzi, Grosjean, Mick Schumacher, and George Russell. Norris, Martinez, Latifi, and Kimi Raikkonen finishes off the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
Right then guys, here we go. It's time for race number 4, the Chinese Grand Prix, and we're going to see how we get on here today. Mick Schumacher actually starting quite a fair few places in front of us. You can see him over there on the front left, and we've got a McLaren actually, Lando Norris to our left hand side, so he's got some kind of a grid penalty. Personally though, starting from P20, we're going to go for the one-stop strategy, which is a lot stronger than starting on the soft tyres, and we're going to start on the mediums here today and then move on to the hard compound tyre. Normally I'd start on the hards, but I want to try and be more competitive at the start to give myself a better chance at the end. So hopefully this will work out for us. Fuel-wise, we're going to run one extra lap and there is no rain expected. So a very straightforward one here today. Let's see if we can bring home the goods and try and score points for maybe the second race in succession. I'm not going to hold my breath, but you never know. It's time for the Chinese Grand Prix. Right, here we go then. The lights are coming on. Let's build up the revs and let's see if we can try and get a good start on the medium tyres. Lights out and away we go. Not a bad start actually. We are going to get alongside Lando Norris into turn 1. We're now going to go down the inside of him and let's see if we can make a move into turn 2. Just going to get held up here a little bit. We've got Mick side by side with George Russell in front in the Williams of course. Outside line now for turn number 3. Can we get the power down out of here and maybe try and get ahead of Lando possibly? He is on soft tyres so he won't last very long on those. Tyre wear is very high on the soft compound tyres. We are going to go back down the inside and try and get ahead of the McLaren driver into turn 5. And we do just about get the move done there. Mick also losing out to George Russell. I know he's got better pace in the Williams. I'm expecting Mick to get past him relatively quickly. But let's see if we've got any race pace. You know, the qualifying pace is pretty good. Not spectacular, but pretty good. And my race pace tends to be better. So let's see what the AI are like around here on 110% AI. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully we can have a fun race. But so far, we've got to contend with Lando behind us. Of course, he's going to be quick on those soft tyres, but very quickly I'm expecting him to have a drop off or pit for tyres. So hopefully we can hold him behind us. That would be nice. Again, that would give us a better chance in this race. We're all over the back of Mick here. As we go to the back straight, overtaking Gage, we're going to get past our teammate. Looks like we're pretty good in the straight line. Look at the speed we've got No DRS, but we are flying past everybody. We're going to get past George Russell as well. Now we've got to make sure we get the car slowed down. A little bit of contact with Russell there in the brake zone. Not sure why it happened, but we're ahead now. P17. Just checking for damage. Looks like we're okay. And lap 1 draws to a close, and that was a very successful first lap of the race. Pace is pretty good so far. We've got both of the Haas boys here, Grosjean and then Magnussen in front, who are stuck behind an AlphaTauri. Seems like he's just dropping off the pace a little bit, whoever that is, and it's just falling into our clutches a bit, so both of the Haas guys are trying to get by, and we're closing up as well. We've got Norris behind us now as the next car, so I'm expecting him in very soon, maybe even this lap, hopefully. I don't want him to distort or get in the way of our rhythm, hopefully, so fingers crossed he doesn't challenge us too much, but I'm definitely starting to look for a move on Magnussen here, or should I say Grosjean. Definitely looking a bit dangerous. I fancy my chances. I'm pretty close to Grosjean actually. Overtake mode engaged. Just not quite close enough for a lunge, I don't think. I do fancy myself on the brakes into the hairpin, but we're just a bit too far back. But I've definitely got a good pace. A bit like Vietnam at the minute, I'm kind of stuck really. The lack of straight line speed, or I'll say the lack of, it's more just the Ferrari power unit in the house being very, very strong. So we're struggling to make a difference, but Lando staying out for one more lap it looks like, as a few cars peeling off the soft tyres, so we're now up to P13 in this race, but the pace is good. I've definitely got more pace than the 3 cars in front, that's for certain. Oh, I can really feel the dirty air. When you're within that half a second window this year and this year's game, you can really notice the dirty air. I feel like they've made that a bit more noticeable. The front end just struggles to hang on to the car in front. Let's see if we can close up to Grosjean here. Through this little chicane section, maybe we can have a little run at him. Looks like Magnussen has dropped off the pace a little bit now. He wasn't as close as he was last lap to the AlphaTauri in front. I'm trying to get the power down as soon as I can out of there. I've definitely got some good acceleration. I think we're within range here. I think I can get Grosjean. We're just in that perfect slipstream window. I'm going to try and have a go here on the brakes. Down the inside we go. Bit of contact. We turn away and get the move done. Just double check, no damage, which is good. And we're through, we're ahead of Romain Grosjean now. Nice move. A little bit of contact, but it had to be done, we had to send it. More cars in the pits, Lando from behind pits as well. So we're now up into the top 10 in this race. I fancy myself to get a few more places, to be honest with you. Even on 110, the car now, you can feel with the upgrades, it's starting to improve. And I've got a really solid base, also the setup working very well as well. Oh, there goes the bollard. Just cutting that final corner a bit too much. A couple more cars in the pit lane as we set a new personal best. Looks like some of these guys have stretched their softs long enough to go into the hard compound tyre later on, which is a pretty good strategy to be fair. So they're going for the one stop. I've got more pace than both of these guys, and I think the Alfa Romeo are ahead as well, so I want to try and use that if I can. Also, Magnussen is just dropping off from the AlphaTauri in front a little bit. If he can just drop out of the DRS window of Pierre Gasly, we'll definitely have a chance to pass him a lot easier, even though he's got the Ferrari engine. Without DRS, it'll make us a lot stronger. Can we challenge Magnussen to turn 1 maybe? No, maybe not. Albon pits. I need to get past now. It's affecting my race. I've got a lot more pace than these guys. Once we clear Magnussen, it'll be a lot easier to clear Gasly because he's got a Honda power unit, so we should have a much easier time trying to clear him. I wonder if we could just have a little look here. Down the inside we go. It's a late move. Magnussen on the cutback. We're going to have to go side by side into this next section. But we get the inside line. There we go. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Getting the elbows out. Personal best again. Good pace. I'm very low on the RS to be fair. But we should be able to pass Gasly on this lap. On the back straight quite comfortably. So I'm going to use the lap to save a bit of battery charge. Well, let's see if we can get this move on Gasly this lap. If I have to use the rest of my ERS, I will. I just want to get into some clean air and try and push a little bit. Here we go, using the ERS early on. Now we've got the DRS. Going to have to save the last 10%. But can we challenge here with a bit of braking? No, we can't, unfortunately. Maybe we can get him into turn 1 though. Let's not give it up just yet. A little bit of overtake out there just to stay close. Dirty air kicking in quite a bit now. Here we go then, one more time.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the hards.
Down the inside, it's very, very tight. Gasly leaves me the room, and we go through. There it is. Key move as Bottas was approaching behind, so we're just trying to stay away from the leaders. I want to see if we can pull away now. Bit of clean air. I've got no ERS, so when Bottas arrives, we can't fight it. We've got good pace, I feel like. We can definitely use it. I think Bottas is arriving. Here he comes in the Mercedes with DRS. We won't put up a fight against that. He's got too much pace. It's a different race to us, so we'll let him just get on with it. That cost me very little time, which is good. And we can now get DRS in the pit straight and continue on our way, so I'm happy with that. No time lost whatsoever. Let's see if Bottas can drag us towards Giovinazzi maybe. Oh, yellow flag.
Okay, clear.
We'll get confirmation on that to see who it is in a minute. Oh, getting sideways out there. Let's see who that is. I'm really curious. Hopefully it's not a teammate, it's someone else. It takes quite a while actually in this game to get confirmation of who the retirement is, I've noticed. Whenever cars do retire. Roman Grosjean.
Information on Grosjean. They are out of the race.
That's good news. One of our direct competitors. Of course, he's also my rival. So that's good news for us in terms of our race. Gasly, to be fair, is not letting go. He's sticking with me here. Good thing is I'm pretty good for the banking, so I pull out a gap on the cars behind through here. I'm able to get the power down very early. The setup helping me out massively, and I'm trying to charge my battery up, so I'd rather not use any ERS if I can avoid it. So we're going to watch a replay of Roman Grosjean's incident. Of course, he is our rival, so it's a very important moment in the race and a key moment. And you can see the Ferrari power unit surprisingly letting go. So the most reliable engine on the grid actually having a blowout. So very, very surprising. That's going to put Grosjean, though, out of the Chinese Grand Prix here today. Well, we're going to box this lap as Sebastian Vettel makes a move on Gasly behind us. I'm expecting Giovinazzi to pit as well. Actually, no, he stays out. Fair enough. We're going to pit. We're going to go for the hard tyres. Do a one and only stop. Lock up on the entry, but that's okay. Looks like nobody else is pitting, just me, but we're going to play it safe. I'm going to stick with the strategy. Could work out, or it could backfire, who knows. Do I get a change of front wing? Do I need some more? I want to get a bit more. I'm going to get a bit more front wing. Our straight line speed's pretty good, so I think I can afford it, so we'll get a little extra turn of front wing. Right, here we go.
Exit now.
2.8, here we go.
Up to speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
See if we can switch these hard tyres on straight away. We're P20 out of 21, so we've got Russell in the pits. Of course, on the same strategy as us, I believe. Well, we need a nice out and up here just to stay ahead of Gasly and potentially close the gap to Giovinazzi if they're going to go for the same strategy as me as well, which remains to be seen. I'm not sure if I've made the right decision here. The extra turn of front wing is giving me quite a bit of oversteer. Back end is very loose. I think that might have been a bad move, to be fair. We'll have to just put up with it now. We can't change it now. It is what it is. We're just going to have to try and change our driving style as Mick pits as well.
Nick is coming in for his stop.
The remaining cars we haven't pit yet from the mediums will box this lap as we get the final corner a bit wrong there. Right, a little bit of overtake across the start finish. We should be ahead of Gasly, and we are.
Pretty much burned off our excess fuel. We'll be back on target soon. Don't wait too long to turn the engine down.
The gap's actually increased, to be fair, so that's good news. You've got Kvyat in front. He's on medium, as is Norris as well. So both of those guys are going to have to stop again. So a few more positions up for grabs. Looks like it's going to be a battle of the 1 versus 2 stoppers, but we could potentially be in the running for the net points here once the 2 stoppers do their pit stops. So important to run a good pace at this early stage on these tyres. Gap to Gasly 2.7, so it was a good thing we did box when we did because we was using the tyres. I can't quite go flat through here. This is the corner where I really struggle with the back end. Personal best, nearly half a second quicker. There's Giovinazzi leaving the pit exit, so his tyres are going to be 2 laps fresher than mine. We're actually closing up to Danny Kvyat here on the medium tyres as Ricciardo pits, along with Carlos Sainz, and also we've got a Mercedes here. This is Lewis Hamilton's. He's having a pretty poor race, it looks like. He's on the hard tyres now. We're just going to sit behind him. We're going to lose a little bit of time by sitting behind him because he's not going that fast at the moment. Tyres are cold, but we're now P13. Sainz behind on fresh hard tyres. Ricciardo's come out behind Gasly, so there's quite a nice gaggle of cars behind. Hopefully they'll take some time off each other. And Giovinazzi in front is closing up to Kvyat. So we're all bunching up here. I'm liking this. We've got a good chance. I've got to find a little bit more pace. I think the front wing adjustment has cost me a little bit of overall speed around here, which is a shame, but you win some, you lose some. We're still not miles off. I think I can still keep up somewhat. There we go, Fiat pits for the Alpha Tauri team. Let's see who else is in the pit lane. Quite a few cars actually. Norris pits as well, Ocon in there as well. So we're now to the point. We're P10 in this race. I've lost a bit of ground to Giovinazzi, which is a shame. I was quicker than him in the first stint especially. This one not so much, but hopefully Lewis can cost him a little bit of time and they battle away. Sainz is catching now, Ricciardo behind on mediums as well, so they're both going to probably catch and pass. So we need a few more cars on the two-stopper to pit and help us out, hopefully. Personal best, good pace from me. I'm on the limit though, I've got no more pace to give. This is what I've got. Ricciardo and Sainz are faster than me. So it's looking like P12 at the moment. Alright, here we go then. Sainz is going to be the first one to come by. We'll use a little bit of overtake, but he's already run my gearbox. Engage overtake now, but he's got a lot of momentum. Can we hang on into the brake zone? No, we can't. Sainz makes the move, and now Ricciardo behind on mediums even quicker still. It was always going to be hard to hold on, but we gave it a good fight. There could still be a few people to pit, you never know, onto the soft tyres maybe for a change. Let's try and stick with Sainz if we can, that'd be nice. Not holding my breath though. Never mind, Ricciardo goes down the inside. Is he going to try and make an attempt? Yes, he does, but we fend him off for now. But he's got me on the switchback, has he? No, he hasn't. I hold on, actually. Good defending, but now Sainz has gone, unfortunately. Ooh, got a bit sideways there, that's not good. This is going to make it very easy for Ricciardo to go past. We're not even going to use overtake. We'll let him just get on with it. We'll try and stick in the slipstream and gain a benefit on the straight that way. Much easier for us, and we can save the overtake in case we have to defend some more. Hopefully, if something happens, you know, there's a retirement in the top 10, we get a little bit of luck on our side. Maybe the two guys in front put a move on Giovinazzi maybe. Who knows, but we can't give up. As Vietnam proved, it can sometimes happen out of the blue. The next threat really is Esteban Ocon, also on medium tyres in the Renault. He's 9 seconds behind us. He could be pretty quick and still be a threat, so we've got to try and look at him. I want to try and finish ahead of a Renault, that'd be a good result for us. Also on for a personal best this lap it looks like, if I can bring this one home cleanly. Yep, there we go, another personal best, clock that one up. Almost into the 134s, but this is all I've got in the tank, to be honest. Got to say, Giovinazzi's doing a great job, he's hanging in there. That Ferrari power unit, as we know, as we saw in Vietnam, doing the job. Sainz and Ricciardo can't get past. Obviously Ricciardo has no chance, because when you're the second car in the double slipstream, you literally make no dent into the gap in front, so he can't really use his medium tyres effectively. Personal best again, just keeping the pace up. At the minute the gap is enough. Ocon has passed Gasly, so it will be tight. I think we'll be fine from Pierre, but Ocon has really picked up the pace in the last 2 laps. I think it's going to be tricky to keep him behind, but we'll try our best. I'd love to beat one of the Renaults, I really would. Slight lock up there. Personal best middle sector. I'm on the limit. As the fuel burns off, we're getting quicker, but it's going to be tricky to stay ahead of Ocon here. We'll wait with the overtake until the last minute. See if we can challenge into the hairpin maybe. Here he comes. Now we'll crank up the overtake. Ocon has momentum. We're still on the inside though. Getting squeezed. Damn, Ocon's got so much grip. Could have matched that traction, that was too much for me. Maybe I can try and re-challenge here, possibly. Maybe not. Damn, I'm not even making a dent into the Renault's top speed. Oh, unfortunately, that's Ocon through. Got through quicker than I would have liked, but too much grip on that medium tyre. You saw the traction difference out the hairpin. Still, P13, it's a good race so far. Well, into the 134s, personal best. 2 laps to go, gap to Gasly 3 seconds, I think we'll be okay now. So it's looking like P13 unless somebody retires in front, up the road maybe. Here we go then, boys. Into the hairpin for the final time. It's been a good race to be fair. P13 is still a solid result and it's showing progress of the team, especially when you consider, you know, where Schumacher is. We've outdriven the wheels off of the car here today, and I'll take that across the line. And there we go. Decent race.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Well, what a drive that was to take the win for Ferrari today. Anthony, tell me, what was it that helped them achieve this success?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
Ferrari are at it again, an excellent performance at today's Grand Prix, and they're certainly a team that know what they're doing out there.
Well then guys, there we go. The race results are in and it's all confirmed. Charles Leclerc picks up the win ahead of Max Verstappen and Valtteri Bottas here today. Alex Albon P4 ahead of Sebastian Vettel, who's P5, and Lewis Hamilton P6, and the worst of the big performance, if you will, in the Mercedes car. Still got the fastest lap, but he was a long way away. Lance Stroll and Sergio Perez scoring points in both of the Pink Panthers ahead of Ricciardo and Sainz, who ran off the top 10. Ocon misses out on the points, along with Giovinazzi, myself, Gasly, Raikkonen, Norris, Kvyat, Magnussen, Schumacher and P19 ahead of Russell and Latifi, with Grosjean the only retirement from the race here today. So overall, a good race, good pace. We showed, we were quite a bit quicker than my teammate. In the end, we finished pretty much 20 seconds ahead of him, so a really dominant performance. But we need to level up Mick as a driver. Obviously, he's not quite there yet, and we need to help that in terms of, as a team, we need to score points. I'm definitely going to focus on trying to improve Mick, especially after this. But first of all, the driver standings, we still sit with 1 point, and Hamilton and Bottas tied at the top. And to be fair, it's anyone's game. Besides Alex Albon, the top 5 are covered by 9 points, so it's all to play for at the top of the table. And in terms of the constructors, we are still in 8th place behind Alfa Tauri. Racing Point overtake Renault, and Mercedes are just ahead of Ferrari, with Red Bull not too far behind. But guys, that is it for this race here today. We're now going to move into the laptop and put on some big upgrades heading into the European season.
Did you struggle to get through all that traffic today?
To be fair, it wasn't too bad. We did lack a little bit of everything, to be honest with you. So, you know what, I'll just say there was no struggle, just pushed as hard as I could. That was pretty fair.
It's safe to say you're smashing everyone's expectations, isn't it?
Well, yes and no. I think I'm performing where I should be, really, considering where the car is. But the standard of racing has been higher. But at the same time, F1 is a team sport, and that's what matters.
Great. Well, that's everything.
So after the race, as you can see on the rivalry breakdown, we have managed to score quite a few points more than Grosjean, and that now gives us a 10-6 advantage on the race to 30 points as 5 races remain in the challenge. And also our team acclaim has now gone up. We are almost level 4 and Mick is almost level 5 as a driver, but crucially the team goes up to level 5, so we can now add on an extra sponsor at the end of this episode. So hopefully we can do that and that will help us out. You can see we've got a nice little cash boost as well thanks to the primary sponsor, and of course now the regular payout from the event. But yeah, that's going to help our finances out massively, and it's going to be even better now that we can add a extra sponsor. Okay guys, so here we are, we're back on the main menu. We now have $3.42 million, so we've got a nice chunk of money. We've now got 1,323 R&D points, and we're now crucially level 5, so we can add on another sponsor to the car. First and foremost, so let's look at the activities tab, because we've got to assign a few. We have a press interview on the 25th, which is quite interesting to be fair, so I'm really curious to see how that one shapes out. But first of all, let's assign an activity, and looking at the days, it looks like we're going to have to do, I think, race simulation is definitely one. I want to improve mixed pace, so we're going to go for that one straight away. The second one will be driver promotion filming to improve the acclaim. That's going to be a good one to fill the space. And then after that, we're going to go for some simulator training, again, to improve mixed experience. And then the final one will be, we'll use that for, I'm thinking of a power training. Which one do we need more? Let's be honest. Power's looking okay, 5% boost. We lose a little bit of cash, but we get more team acclaim. I think, okay, we need results, so we'll go for power team building for now. So we've got our activities selected for the next few days, some real focus on Mick. Hopefully he can improve his pace. But now let's go over to the R&D. Let's upgrade a few things. So first and foremost, actually before we do this, let's go into the facilities because we're going to upgrade a facility. Which one is our weakest one? So chassis is looking pretty weak, to be fair. We could definitely improve that. So let's hop over to the chassis tab and let's see what we have. So we can do the fabrication, increase the number of simultaneous upgrades, which would be a pretty good one, to be fair. That would help us out quite a lot. Build time, so improve the build of all upgrades by 20%, so they'd be a lot quicker to arrive, which would also be pretty good. It is $500,000 cheaper. Quality control to reduce failures, and then increase the amount of R&D points that the department produces. To be fair, they're all really, really tempting. Looking at the budget, I'm going to go for build time. We need upgrades fast, so we'll try and speed up the chassis side of things, and this will activate on the 25th of April. So we've purchased our first upgrade to one of our facilities. We're now going to move back into the R&D tab, and because of that, we're now going to upgrade other areas. So first and foremost, the aero, we're looking pretty good. We are mid-table. I'm going to purchase this rear downforce one to balance it out and hopefully to compensate. And we've got 723 points left, which I could try and spend on. Can I get maybe an engine upgrade possibly? That would be pretty cool. We've got fuel efficiency or ERS. I'm thinking ERS. I think that's more performance based, so I think we're going to go for that one. And hopefully that will arrive soon. So yeah, we've spent our points, we've spent a good chunk of the money, but now crucially we can sign a new sponsor as we are now level 5. So let's have a little look at the options and let's see what the best one is for our team. I can't lie, boys, looking at the options, there are a few decent ones. I've been looking at other things because the one we have currently in Atlantic as our secondary sponsor brings in a very high weekly income. So now I'm looking at the gold bonus. And the one that I like a lot is DSB Optics because it's got a pretty high bonus. I believe it's second or third. The highest one is Moon. That's pretty damn good. And to be fair, it's got a good weekly bonus as well. But it is a 56-day one. Whereas this one, DSB Optic, it has a pretty good gold bonus, but it's 91 days, which is almost double the time. So it's quite a stable one in terms of keeping things, stability in the team and keeping things consistent. So we are going to add them as a brand new sponsor to the team. So before we wrap things up, guys, we are going to do this press interview with Will Buxton. So let's jump into it and let's see what it's like.
Here we are in the HQ of our newest Formula One team. We've got an awful lot to talk about, so let's jump straight in. Your team's been picking up points fairly consistently. Do you think you'll be able to become a challenge to the top teams in the future?
Well, I mean, that is the aim. I think we want to try and achieve that. I can actually give some credit, to be fair, to our new sponsor, which is pretty damn sick, but I'm not sure if that will maybe discredit or upset the other sponsors, so I'm going to tread carefully and say we wouldn't be in the sport if we weren't planning on winning.
Will your team be going for the Constructors' Championship this season, or just for points?
To be fair, I think the Constructors is off the table. We're just planning on getting points this season. To be fair, we are developing as a team as well, so I'll say we're planning on getting plenty of points this season. I think that's a fair one. I think we can achieve that.
Would it be safe to say that in terms of team orders, your career comes first in your team?
To be fair, I don't think so. Ultimately, it's whoever's head in the championship gets that first call, but for now, there's no team orders because we're not in that situation.
Let's talk about your new second driver. How are they settling in?
Wow, that's an interesting one. They will make a good wingman for me. That's a savage one. Mick is loving the new car. We had the car, but now we have a driver who can really push it. To be fair, I can't like that one. That's going to give Mick a bit of credit, so we'll say that. I think Mick's done a pretty good job, but he can definitely do better. His qualifying's great, but his race pace needs some work.
What are your predictions for your team going into this season?
I mean, we're already a few races in. I think, we've got to be realistic. We're still finding our feet here, but we're hoping to get some points.
Well, thanks so much, as ever, for your time. It's hugely appreciated.
But there we go, guys. The interview is done and dusted. Hopefully you enjoyed it and enjoyed this episode. If you did, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And the next race will be at Zandvoort, the Dutch Grand Prix. I'm really, really excited. I love the track. I've raced on there before already, and it's going to be really, really exciting. So by all means, guys, tune in next time for that race. I can't wait to see how it goes. But if you enjoyed this video, guys, like I said before, hit the like button, subscribe. If you are new, guys, I'm trying to hit 50,000 subs by the end of the year, so any help would be greatly appreciated. And also, while you're here, click the bell icon, guys, to be notified when the new content does go live on my channel. And that's it, guys. check out the 2 videos on your screen. If you have missed them, you might enjoy them, so give them a chance and let me know what you think. And that is it from me in this episode of the My Team Career Mode, and I'll see you all in my next one very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.